Hi, everybody, and welcome. We have a special interview today to talk about Bradley Hall of Famer to be, Jim Molinari, as we have Hall of Fame Sports Information Director, member of the Bradley Hall of Fame, Joe Dalfonso. How many years was it?
23 at Bradley.
A long time. And nobody knows Jim Molinari better than Joe Dalfonso on a professional level, because 23 years and Mo was here for a long time. First of all, it's great to have him in the Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Yes, he always joked about, when am I going in, because all my players are already in and my team's in, so it's my turn. And he was joking, but the honor is deserved, no doubt about it.
I remember that Northern Illinois had a terrific team. I think they went to the NCAA that year.
They did.
And when his name emerged, the media descended upon their post-season banquet.
Right.
Remember that?
Right, which he hated.
Oh,
he didn't want that. He didn't want the news out, and he was considering Bradley at the time, and he didn't know if it was the right move. And then his good friend Rob Judson convinced him, "This is a great move. We got to go." And so he showed up.
And his background included Bradley. Kansas State, when he played, that was in the commissioner's tournament.
It was 1974. We played him in the first round. Lon Kruger was the star of the Kansas State team. Jim Molinari was on the roster. Bradley won that game and went to the semifinals against USC. So there's always a connection with coaches and players, and that was ours.
And then he plays for Illinois Wesleyan at the Fieldhouse.
Exactly, with the great Jack Sikma.
Right.
That's right. So he's been in our past, and then now he's in our future.
And then there's one more game played at the Fieldhouse against Illinois Wesleyan and Denny Bridges.
That's right. We had gone downtown for a number of years and decided to play one more at the Fieldhouse. We got the opponent, his good friend Denny Bridges, brought the Titans in. Bradley won. I remember the night. It was a great night.
Yeah. When he came in, you remember the first time you met him when he came in? That's a long time ago.
The first time was at his press conference, actually. He was meeting with a lot of people, and I introduced the people who were going to introduce him at the press conference. And then afterwards, I got maybe 3 minutes with him, and he told me total communication between the two of us, total communication. That never happened, but it was great to hear at the time. So, that's one of those things.
That was at a time, Joe, when the basketball program was like way here.
Yes.
Way down. And so he had to rebuild it from the ground up. Won his first 3 games, as I remember.
Correct.
Then we went to Utah.
Yep. Yeah, and scored a touchdown in the first half, right?
That's right.
That's right.
So he's built it up very similar to what we have now with Brian Wardle.
Similarities are striking, really. And I said that in Brian's first year when he was going through the rebuild and what he was putting as important, number 1, number 2, number 3. I said to friends and anyone who would listen, I said, this is Jim Molinari 2.0. And it has proven to be that. And now, Brian's in his 5th year, and we've won the tournaments, and now we go on the road and beat good teams in the Valley and have an excellent record, a great home court situation. It's exactly the way Mo did it.
Mm-hmm. He added little pieces here and there, and as much as they talk about his ability defensively to coach, he was really a good recruiter.
There's only one thing you have to say about Jim's recruiting, okay? He brought 2 NBA players to campus, and no coach has done that since. When you think about Danny Granger and Anthony Parker, both playing here, coming as freshmen, and ending up in the NBA, I mean, that speaks volumes for Jim's recruiting.
And then defensively, Billy Wright, Eric Roberson. I mean, you just go on and on about the defensive stars that he had.
Yeah, Bayo Akingleye was a defensive player of the year one year. Rob Dye, you throw him in there. Anthony Parker was a good defensive player, and we had a lot of them. That '96 team was really built on defense, and even though people remember the scoring of AP and Zobrist and Deion Jackson and people like that, I mean, that was a defensive team, and it rode us to the championship.
And you compare Jashawn Henry and Dwayne Funchess.
Said that the other night. Exactly. I said it to our good friend Dave Reynolds. He says, who does he remind you of? I said, well, except for the three-point shooting ability, it's Dwayne Funchess.
Yeah. So Mo has, the Valley loves Mo.
Yes.
all the people are going to be at the luncheon on Wednesday, because Mo, I don't know if he tried to be funny, but his sense of humor was very unique.
Yes. Yes, I mean it's really untouched. He could do it over the phone. He could do it in an interview. He could do it post game, pre game. He had such a great wit, and I guess that's helped him, become an attorney at sometime in his life, an assistant coach, and tells me he's a great storyteller. And really, I can't wait for you and him to team up on the luncheon on Wednesday.
I always had like 10 keys to the game, and I'd go over them with him, and he says, "You've got too many keys."
Yeah,
I said,
right.
"At least I can find mine."
Right.
Any stories funny stories that you can think of right off the top of your head?
That's the one, the keys. I mean, when we went to Indiana State one year, and he tossed his keys to the manager because he drove over in his Cadillac, and because of safekeeping, because he would lose them. So the manager has the keys, and the game is over, and we win, and he's pretty excited, and everybody gets on the bus, including the manager, and it drives off, and Jim is standing there with the car, but no keys.
That and another time, Jack Watkins did the call-in.
The weekly teleconference.
Yeah, that Mike Kern does now, and they used to be alphabetically.
Right.
So Mo would go first, and Jack says, "We're on the line now with Jim Molinari." And you remember the story?
Yes. Jim was ordering his coffee at a takeout someplace, and had to interrupt the call to put his order in on the drive-through. And Jack said, "Coach Mo, if there's anyone that doesn't need coffee in the morning, it's you." So
It's really
the Valley loved Mo, absolutely, and they're going to be thrilled about this. And he did a lot of great things for the league. I mean, he kept Bradley relevant throughout. And in those days when Missouri State and Southern and Illinois State were good, Bradley was also good. And we brought a lot of people to St. Louis and a lot of excitement. And, those are good days for the league and obviously good days for BU.
some of the games that Mo was involved with Tubby Smith in the Tulsa matchups.
Yep. Tubby Smith, the Illinois State rivalry that was really well with Kevin Stallings there, really important. Mark Turgeon, went against Mo. A lot of good coaches that are now in top conferences in the country.
I think it says a lot for Mo that he's been a head coach in the Big Ten on an interim basis. He continues to get jobs because people recognize how good he is defensively.
Yes. Oh, he's a great guy also to bounce things off of, really. I mean, as an assistant coach at Nebraska and assistant coach now with Lon Kruger at Oklahoma, I mean, he will tell you what he thinks. He's not a yes man, and he'll say, this is what we need to do, or you can't do that, and so on and so forth. And, he's assistant coach with Ray Meyer, did the same thing at DePaul. So that's what his real value is. He knows a lot, and he speaks his mind, and he's usually right.
You talk to him every once in a while?
We text. Believe it or not, he does text. And, it takes a while to get back to me. But, when he was at Nebraska and they would have a big win on the road someplace, I'd throw him a message and, a day later he'd come back. And we'd talk a little bit, absolutely.
You talked to him since the Hall of Fame. You called him to congratulate him.
Yeah, no, that was a text as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a text. I told him the congratulations. Now everybody's in now. So.
and again, to wrap it up, not only is he an outstanding basketball coach, a good leader, but he's also a wonderful human being, and his faith is first and foremost, and he's always said that.
Oh, absolutely. That's the one thing I learned when he got here, that faith was going to be number one, and he wasn't going to build a program around it, but he was going to change the culture of the Bradley program to get good people in here, and he did that. He won the off-the-court battles first, and then won on the court, with his system. So, it was a wonderful time with Mo here, and this honor is greatly deserved.
Joe, thanks for joining us. It's going to be a special day for everybody that loves Mo.
Yep.
And make sure if you watch this, Wednesday at 11:30, the Braves Club at Renaissance Coliseum in the basketball practice facility. You'll want to hear what Mo has to say.
Take your phone out and record it.
That's good. Joey, thanks.
Thank you, Dave.
Hall of Famer Joe Dalfonso joining us. And, there's a basketball game as well as the Braves take on Illinois State in the I-74 rival. So we hope that you get your tickets for both the luncheon. Bradley Braves Club members, it's $20, $25 for anyone else, and you can even get tickets at the door. So look forward to seeing you there and on Wednesday night as well. Dave Snell for Joe Dalfonso. Thank you very much.